Hey, so in this video, I'm going to just show, this is just a quick demonstration on how to change settings for different areas of the model. So this is a ETA-2 Jedi Starfighter that I'm working on from Layered Creations, and he was kind of asking about this, and so I figured, you know what, I'll just make a video on it and we can kind of roll from there. So I've already printed this once, and we have these areas here in the wings that are really thin, and so my support settings and infill settings that I use for the rest of the ship are not going to be good for here. So I want to go through and I want to change the settings in these part of the wings just to reinforce them. We have this front part of the cockpit that could use reinforcement. Same with the other side. It's basically a mirrored image. So what you're going to do, you're going to select your model. Once you have your model in, and you're going to utilize support blockers, and we'll drop a little square there. Okay, so now I'll actually click on it from my object list, and so we have a couple different settings. The settings that we're going to go for are, we're going to modify settings for overlap. So this means anywhere that this overlaps with our model, the settings will change. So now we'll get a whole different, we'll get some different, oh god, I guess things that we can change. There we go. I don't know. I'm brain fart. It's like 1:30 or whatever. Anyway, so now that we have that, what we can do is we can actually modify it. We can scale it. So I turned off my scaling. Oh, I don't want to go that way. I want to go up. Boom. There we go. Okay. So I want this to cover the edges of my starship. Plus I want it to cover some of the wings. So we can adjust these just like how we do everything else in the model, and you can kind of move it around. Okay, so let's move this some more. So we'll come, oop, drop this down, get all the way to the floor. Now it's there. Let's overlap it with the model. Still not quite there. We'll scale it out some more. Let's see, is that good? Is that covering it? Okay. So honestly, I think that looks pretty good. Just need to make sure we're covering the model. Okay. So there we go. We have that piece covered. Okay. So let's come here and look at my infill settings. So I have a 20% grid for everything else, but I think in order to help solidify all of this, what I want to do is I don't want to change my wall thickness or wall line count. All these, I want those to stay the same. It's mainly infill density and infill pattern that I want to be able to go through and change. Okay, so what is that? So if we look at some of these different patterns or infill, we can kind of get an idea of what's going to be a good infill to use for something like that. typically I'm going to say cubic because cubic provides strength in all directions. So I think that that's what I'm going to go for there. And it is going to end up using more material for obvious reasons. And I want to take this up to say 40%. So now we can go ahead and slice this, and we can see what this looks like in our preview. So I'll let this slice. I'll speed through this. This is done rendering our supports and everything like that. We get our slice time, which this is a big boy. So let's look at our preview. So we have our supports. Everything's been generated, which looking at it now, I have tree supports on. So, and I was also doing screen recording, so that's why this took forever. Okay, so let's look at the top. So we have our grid that's up top. We know that this box runs, right there. So let's see what this box is doing to our model. So we come down and try to go back up. This is running really slow. So we're looking in this area right now. And we can see our cube, our cubic infill is there. It's brutal on my laptop. So let's come further down. So we can see how our infill changes. And so we can do these settings and we can change stuff from line thickness, pretty much name it. So that's how we can use our support blockers to change settings per the model. So hope that kind of clarifies it, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.